Answer here at Ngozi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today, Angie Simmons. Hi, Angie.
Hi, Nancy.
How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. Thank you very much. Yourself?
Good, thank you. So you chose this topic, change, one of our greatest challenges and how to best deal with it. Um, I know you changed the top. You said you chose the topic for our audience, and what made you choose this topic anyway?
I think, to be fair, is because we're always going through change. And I think a lot of people, me included, sometimes we get really scared of change. But if we don't embrace change, things don't change for us. So it's one of those, do you, don't you? Like I say, I've been through a hell of a lot of change in my life. But the biggest one was me needing to change my life. Um, you know, my story of my entire life got changed overnight when my young brother was killed on the way to my house for a motorbike ride. It was me that introduced him. I blamed myself. Other people did too. And I just went on this downward spiral of self-destruct mode because, it's not having that on your shoulders, feeling that you're to blame for your sibling dying, then being told that you're to blame. It was just, that's when I smashed the self-destruct button, and my marriage ended. I lost my job. Everything just upside down, and I knew I needed change. I knew I needed to change myself, but I was extremely scared of what to expect. But what I found is, by working on me with personal development, I've been able to embrace change a lot easier than how I used to deal with change before, if that makes sense. Because when, I started the personal development journey, I didn't know who it was going to enable me to become. I didn't see what it would enable me to overcome. And then when my mum suddenly passed away in February 2018, it all started again. This massive change in my life, people blaming people, because they say that death brings out either the worst or the best of some people, and it definitely did in my experience, of the people around me, should I say. But that's when I noticed the change in me, and I noticed the change in how I dealt with the situation. I was a lot calmer, a lot more structured in how I dealt with things, and I was able to support other people rather than going on that self-destruct mode. So with change, I think a lot of it is trying to understand why your life's changing, trying to embrace why your life's changing, because people think that a massive change in their lives is there to test them or put them through some sort of challenge. But what I've learned is that sometimes you're given that to actually grow, to learn, and to have that experience, so then you can then help other people like myself. I now, by turning my mental mess into my message, I've been able to help other people turn their untangle their internal world so they can expand their world. So change for me, it's about embracing it and learning from it. You're on mute, my darling.
Embrace the change.
Yes.
Embrace the change. I like when you say, when the change comes, people, sometimes we can just go to a judgmental place where we say is bringing challenges, and you put the example about your brother's death. If death is going to happen, it's going to happen anyway. We can either, because you are not a God that you can prevent that death. So things do happen in life, but the problem is people tend to find something to blame in that place. And what I've learned myself through life is, when changes comes, I see blessings. It doesn't matter how painful it is. So I always see blessings. And just like you are saying, embrace it and find your you can ask God, those who believe in God and those who believe in the universe. I don't know what people believe in, because people believe in different things. For me, when challenges comes in my way, and when I see that there is a change in my life, and sometimes I don't have control with life. That's what I always say, that God, I don't have control with life. If the change comes to give me strength, help me to gain that strength. But if change comes to knock me down, help me to get up and find strength, because I don't know what the change, because what I've realized is if I go into a blaming mode, I'm going to be busy blaming people and not actually see the blessings in that change. That's why journaling is very, very, very important. If you look at my my diary, when I'm journaling things, when I'm reading it, it's like it was written by different people, because of the emotions, the thoughts that we go through in life. And if you didn't believe in the change, and if you didn't work on yourself, Angie, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet you. But I'm glad that you went through those challenges, and those challenges pushed you to become the person that you are today, and which is you are at Ngozi Talk Shows, and also you have your own coaching business, and which is amazing. Sometimes when change comes to us, we have to see it as blessings. And no matter how challenging that is, I always say to people, you only need to have one person that is going to believe in you. You don't need loads of people, because we intend to wanting, like you hear people saying, people don't get me. You're right. People are never, ever going to get you. But if you believe in yourself and have that one person that can say, I believe in you, then you will be able to get to where you need to go, and which you have done it. You are the person that you are today because you believed in yourself. You believed in the change, that this change is coming to help me, which is amazing. Really, really amazing. So thank you for for going through that change and those challenges that they have helped you to become who you want to become. And if someone is watching today and they want to know, they're going through maybe challenges in life, and or their lives, they're going through changes in their lives, or through transformation that they don't understand, with what you've gone through, what advice can you give that person?
Right. So for me, mainly now, and you've already mentioned
I need to get my phone.
Oh, it's okay. No problem. Yeah. For me,
come back.
Come back. Where you going?
Come back.
So for me, it's using this beauty, which is, which is my journal.
I like your journaling book.
Yeah. Look at the size of the bad boy.
It's so big.
It is. That's why I designed it, because.
Did you design it yourself?
Yeah, that's mine. Mine. Look.
Are you selling it?
Yes.
On Amazon?
It's on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. I designed this when this change came for me. Obviously with Tony, like getting into the personal development I'd say it was an accident in a way.
Yeah.
Because it was my friend that I went to see, and I told her all about my life. I'd not seen her for 20 years. So I verbally diarrheaed everything all over her, bless her, because she told me she was a therapist. So I thought, great. And it was by accident. She gave me a CD and asked me to put it in my car and listen to it on the way home. But I listened to it over and over and over again, to the point where I was reciting every single word. But then the other change that, and then these incremental changes started happening with me because I was feeding my mind with better stuff. That is my top tip to anybody that's listening, that's going through change. Start feeding your mind with good, positive, inspirational stuff. Most of us are, we're listening to the radio, we're watching the TV. This is going off, you've got your negative Nelly over there telling you all about everything that's going wrong in our life. And we're constantly bombarded with negativity. And unfortunately, that lowers our vibrations, that lowers our energies, which is not going to get us to do stuff that we wouldn't normally do. So start feeding yourself with positive, inspirational stuff. You can find so much stuff on YouTube, like Nomsa's channel. I'm sure there's loads of inspirational stories on there from other coaches and people that Nomsa's, that you've interviewed. There's so many other thought leaders on YouTube. So when people say to me, it's expensive, now I have invested a hell of a lot of money into myself with the therapy, with the coaching and the seminars and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't have to be expensive. However, I'm just going to say to you, if you need to make an investment, the best investment that you can make is in yourself. Everybody invests in the cars, they invest in the houses, they invest in everything else, but they don't invest in themselves. That's where true enlightenment comes. That's where true growth comes from, is from investing in yourself. So for me, when the change that came when my mum passed away, when I saw who I'd become, there was a missing jigsaw piece, and I didn't know what it was. I say to people, I felt a little bit like Batfink, the cartoon character. I don't know if you ever remember him, Namsa, yeah? But some bullets were getting through, and it was like I needed something else. And I started journaling by accident. But the difference I noticed, get these thoughts out of your head. Because what happens is we then ruminate, and we keep going. And what happens is we go downhill. 90% of the time, if we're still running the same patterns, the same thoughts in our heads, we're going to stay in the same place. So if we need to grow and change to help us get through something or to achieve something, then we need to take new, different actions. So for me, it's that investing in yourself and definitely journaling, the science behind journaling, how it improves people's mental health, health and well-being. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, journaling through and through. You're on mute again.
How much is your journaling thing on Amazon?
This one, it's 35.
It is
£35, but it's a year long and it's undated. And
it's also so big.
It's structured with my mind management routine. There's also a mood and moon tracker, because I did a bit of moonology and understood obviously that we are 73% water, well, body 62, brain, that if the moon can affect the earth and the tides, then surely it's going to affect us and our moods. So there's a mood tracker in there, as I say, it's a year long undated. So there's space for people to write their goals in there and track if they're keeping on top of the goals. So yeah, but I was looking for a journal. I couldn't find one. I spent £35 on some journals and they were like 6 months. So I thought, no, I need to one year journal that I can track all my thoughts and my feelings, my actions, and also basically track my goals. So that's
it's really big. It's a Bible.
Yes, it is. It's your own Bible, but it's more of a workbook, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is a Bible. Yeah. So how come you've never put the link for it? So I think I'm going to need the link for.
Oh, you know what? I've never really thought about it, to be fair. It's one of those, because when you do something all the time,
yeah,
and you sort of, it's all right, I'm just trying to get the link for you. Yeah, you if when you're doing something all the time,
yeah,
you forget that not everybody knows about it.
Yeah, you have to share. We're talking about this yesterday, that people don't share about what they're doing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we're talking about it, me and Shireen, yesterday, that people need to share. But I think I'm going to need if you send it through by email, that would be really great, so I can attach it on the website as well.
Okay. Well, what I've also done, I've just popped it in the chat.
Yeah.
That is 7 days of journaling.
Okay.
So that literally, if somebody has never journaled before,
yeah,
that's 7 days of journal. It's a free thing, and then they'll get an email every single day with a task to journal on what to journal about and how they found it. And there is links in there actually to my journal, should anybody want one.
Okay, so this link, can you send it to me, because I'm gonna forget here? Can you send it to me on WhatsApp? And then I can send it to, when we finish, I can send it, attach it on the YouTube video and all social media, that because that would be really useful if it's a 7-day journaling for free for people to test and see what journaling is about. So I'll really, really appreciate that.
I shall do that, my love.
Yeah. Part of the challenges and the changes that comes into our lives. And I think for me, it was the change that basically the greatest challenges, the change that I had to deal with, it was the pandemic. I don't know how other people felt. For me, I felt that it was a big change for me. It was something that I have never gone through in my life. And although I survived it without stress or anything, but you know, when you get up in the morning, you get dressed and you have appointments with clients and you go to work, see your clients without any problems. But then when you're being told that you're staying at home today for 1 year or 6 months, that can bring loads of challenges. But for me, I didn't see it as, I knew that, okay, we have to stay at home. But what helped me to go on is to getting creative. Marriages were being broken during the pandemic. And I remember when I just looked around and my friends are telling me that different people divorcing, this one is divorcing, and I'm meeting people. When we came out of pandemic, I'm like, hi, how is the family? No, we are good, but did you know I've divorced? We are separated. I'm like, how did that happen? So for me, when the pandemic came, I had to see the pandemic as the pandemic that is here to actually destroy me and my family. And I had to use that as the opportunity to spend time with my family, because how we respond to the situation is how we are able to actually move forward with everything. So that was my response with the COVID. And also I had to get creative. I don't know, what did you do during the COVID?
What did I do? Wow, the pandemics. Oh, wow. Now, I don't really watch TV. I don't listen to the news. My mum, bless her, miss her, love her, but she used to moan at me because I'd never, she'd say something and I'd be like, what? And she went, where is your head? And I was like, in my books and in my stuff. Thank you very much. No, you need to be listening to the news. I was like, no, I don't, because you'll tell me all about what's going off.
Yeah.
So and I remember I went to the shop one day. Now, I don't watch, I watch TV, but I will pick a series or something that I want to watch, if that makes sense. And for some reason, I got into Walking Dead. I don't even like zombie stuff, but for some reason, I ended up watching a series and I got into it. And then one day I was like, right, I need to go to the shops. And I went in the shops and there's empty shelves. And I was like, what's going off? Are you selling up, mate? And he went, not you. And I went, why is your shelves empty? He says, because everybody's panic buying. I went, about what? And he went, where have you been living? I had no clue. And he said, what do you want? I went, toilet roll. And he went, of all things. This is when it first came out. So I came home and I was like, what's going off? So I put the TV on, and I'll be honest, within 3 days, I just, I work on myself daily and have done for years. But it really did affect my mental health. I was starting to panic about everything because that's what I was listening to all the time. I'm also a dog groomer, as well as my coaching business. I'm a dog groomer, and it's a home-based business. So overnight, my dog grooming business shut. So all of a sudden, I've got no money either. And I'm like, what am I going to do? What? And it was a case of collecting myself. I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm at home. I have got food in the cupboards. We've got food for the pets. Me and Summer will be okay. Because of the bubble thing, eventually when it came out, that meant that my daughter could see her dad because he was on his own. So there was only him in his home. So he came over here quite a lot because he was on his own, we was on our own. So it weren't like we were going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, when we was allowed to come out type thing. But then even though me and her dad, me and my daughter's dad are separated and have been for quite some years, still really good friends. We made that decision. If we are going to separate, we are still going to be there as a unit to support our daughter.
To support your daughter, yeah.
And so yeah, we were playing games, we were having fun. I decided that I was going to finally do the back garden. I've been wanting to do my back garden for years, but I never had the time because I was always working. So for me, when the dust settled, in the sense of my dust, my panic, my what's going to happen, I actually went, I'm going to embrace this. This is time to slow down, because we're all too busy being busy ants and running around and doing this and doing that. And I don't know about you, Nonce, but I just loved the quietness of it. No cars, no planes, and I could hear the birds. And it was just so nice being able to hear nature and being present with life rather than running around like an edited chicken. So yeah, after the initial panic, I settled into it and I actually enjoyed it. And this is when I'd already designed my journal, and I met a lady before the pandemic, and she was like, "Oh, you're the journal lady. You're the journal lady," because my journal's inspired by nature. And this lady, she's a very nature person. So she was looking through it and she just went, "There's a course in this journal." And I was like, "A course?" She went, "Yeah, there's a course." And I was like, "Is there?" She went, "What's that there for?" So I told her. She went, "Right. Then what's that there for?" And she went, "And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course there is." So that's what I used the time for. I decided to design my coaching methodology and basically make growth development. Because when I designed the journal, I came up with the name Growth Development Foundation because it's all about inspire, develop, grow. But it was about the thought, which is a seed that we nurture and it grows. It either turns into a nettle or it turns into a beautiful flower. It's how we nurture those seeds, those thoughts that we have in our mind. So that's where it came from. But I didn't think there was anything else. And then, yeah, Growth Development Foundation's going in all different directions now, which is great. So I'm grateful for the pandemic in that sense, that it gave me time to step back, relax, and focus, center, and take that time to slow down. And I won't be going back to that busy ant again, because I don't know about you, Nonce, but I find when I'm busy all the time, I get so stressed. And then the slightest thing, I'm like, "What now?" And then I'm like, it's not even that big of a deal. But because I'm running around like an headless chicken, I then get stressed. So
I tell you what I do, Angie. I tell you what I do when I'm really, really busy. I try to sit down and take a breath. When I'm really, really busy with work, I have to understand. Before I used to really get stressed and get wound up, but now I just do the work that I can. And I don't do, if I wake up really early in the morning, I work, and if problems comes along the way, you get really, really busy. I am aware of what is going on. I take a breathe.
But it only takes about a minute, doesn't it? People haven't got time for that, but
yeah. Yes, 1 minute just to be like, just to be in that present moment. So it's very, very useful to have this awareness of being in the present moment, because we intended to write goals. And when change comes, we have these goals, and we say, let's write a goal for 5 years. Instead of living in the today, we start living in the 5 years.
Yeah.
And when that goal does not happen, we start getting wound up. We start getting too busy, like, I'm not doing anything right with the business and stuff. But the problem will be, just take a breathe and just do your work and do what you can. Manifest or pray. If you're just like me, just pray to God to actually, because we may put the deadline. I hear people when they say you have to manifest, and give the certain time that your blessings has to be given in this certain time. They have to come to pass in this certain time. But I think that is misleading, because if somebody's blessing, say, is the 17th of November today, and I say by the 25th of November, I need to have these blessings, they need to come to pass. But what if they're going to come on the 26th? Then I get disappointed and then I give up on the 25th. Or maybe they're going to come on the 30th. So what you need to do is just have this open mind of, that just live your life as it has happened. That's what God says, believe in it. But he doesn't say give the date that it has happened today, because that's when people when they want change, they get disappointed, because we don't have control with life. Like a pandemic, for me, it showed me that we don't have control with life, or there are no guarantees for tomorrow. And that's why it's very, very important to learn to deal with problems, to deal with the change as well. It could be the change. Let's say, like, there are some people who live in ordinary life, and then one day they become a millionaire, and they don't know how to live that life. You find it really hard to accept that life. So you have to be someone that is willing to actually live in that change environment and look at the change. If it's positive, just embrace it. But some people don't. It's like when you win something, how long do you celebrate your winnings? Be honest.
Me?
Yeah.
Every single day.
And what made you actually change that habit of celebrating your wins every single day?
When did I change it?
Yeah. What made you change that?
What made it was that same old thing. So let's go back to what you were saying a minute ago about goals and stuff. And I had a great quote: write your goal in stone. That means it doesn't go anywhere. It's going to happen. Put your date in sand. And then you can rub it out. And I always talk to people about that, because if it's a goal, then it's gonna come to pass. But if we put a date on it, if it doesn't happen, then you get deflated. And that is the reason why I started celebrating on a daily basis, because we don't just get a goal. We don't just go, right, I'm going to have a brand new car, oof, and it's there on the drive. It don't just happen. You have to take steps for that to happen. So every single day I celebrate my steps that I've taken towards my goal. Every single day, because if we don't, then the goal is too far away. So for instance, like when I'm talking about setting a goal, I had a goal 25 years ago, I think it was, and I wanted to buy some land. That was it. My ex-husband was like, do what? I want to buy some land. I want my own campsite. I want this. I want that. No. And it weren't happening. He'd got different goals to me. And I let it go. And then when my mum passed away, it was there again, because I set up my own wellbeing camp, and we celebrated the sun, because for me, I celebrate the sun, I celebrate the earth, because if it wasn't, especially the sun, there would be no life on this planet. With that, it's now been coming, it keeps coming, and I keep hearing new things keep popping up, because that's where my focus is, because that is my big, hairy, scary goal, is to sell my house and live on the land and turn it into a wellbeing camp to invite people in so they can live in nature or stay in nature for a while, because nature is so healing. So that me celebrating every single day that I have done something towards that goal means it's not so far away. And when it's also the reticular activating part of the brain as well. When you're celebrating, you're attracting it more, because you're focusing. If you're not focused, taking those little steps and celebrating those little steps, then you're not actually focused on your goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Long way round, but I know where I was trying to get.
Yeah, it does make sense. We have to take step. Every step we take, we have to celebrate ourselves. And if we don't celebrate ourselves, that's when the stress comes in. Because no matter how hard you work, if you don't see the reward for it, some people, they get rewarded for their hard work. and they'll still want more and more and more and more. So for me, like what you're saying, that you celebrate yourself each and every single day. And it took like, when I got into personal development, I realized that I need to celebrate myself. And also, you know, like we talk about journaling as well. And when things go wrong in life, you don't have to look at the wrong that has happened. You have to look back. For me, I look back and say, if God has put me through to this, so that means this is just a small thing that is happening. And just keep believing and just keep taking step. And I knowing that I'm going to find that breakthrough, because you have when it comes to your life, I don't know who you believe in, Angie. For me, when it comes to my life, God and me has a final say when it comes to my life. No one has a final say rather than God and myself, because he makes sure that he holding my hands, and I make sure that I keep going. And I think that is what you're saying, that you take each step for you is a blessings each and every single day. So if anyone is watching and they're like, they look at someone's life on social media and they're like, you know what, I'm trying to make changes in my life, but look at Nomsa on her social media. She looks so good and my life is so miserable. But you don't know the secret that makes me look so good is the smile that keeps me going. I have a laughing yoga on Fridays. Every Friday we do laughing yoga. So I laugh at problems. I laugh at my changes. I celebrate myself. And also when I'm faced with the challenges, I know that there are some things that I have control over, and I know that there are some things that I don't have control over. So what I do is the things that I have control over, those are the things that I can actually look at it and work on them. But anything else that I don't have control over, it goes to God, because he's higher than them all. So that's where I put everything to God. And by doing that, it makes me feel that I'm not alone. So, and that's what happened. And even when you talk about when your brother died and people they were like blaming you, we are not responsible when someone dies unless you put a trigger on that person. Yes, we can say you are responsible for their death because you do this. But if you're not putting a trigger on someone, it doesn't matter. We all in life have our own choices. Like myself, I have my own choices, and the choices that I make in life, they define who I am as a person. So I don't have to blame anyone. I just have to go on. So I think what happened is, like with the audience or anything, they can use your story just to look at the blame. What does the blame do? The blame causes destruction. Absolutely. And what else does the blame cause? It causes so many things. It stops you moving forward. Because when someone start blaming you, you're like, you stop. And it gives you something to talk about. It gives people something to talk about at that moment. And then it is a distraction. For me, that's why I always say to my family or my friends, when things go wrong in my life, I don't blame anyone. I just deal with God and say, God, you know what? If it is my ancestors, what they have done, or if it is me, what I have done, forgive me. Because I have no clue what is going on. You just forgive me so I can be free. And in that way, when I'm using my prayers, I don't know what you do. You do journaling. Do you believe in God or you believe in the universe?
I'm more of a universe. I'm more of the earth.
Yeah. So if you are somebody that believe in the universe, you do what you do using your belief.
I use gratitude a lot.
Yeah. using gratitude. Yeah.
Because obviously gratitude is one of the highest forms of, it's a high vibration. It's all about your energy.
Yeah.
Or being grateful, like you use your laughing.
Yeah.
You cannot be happy and sad at the same time. It's mentally impossible.
Yeah.
So for me, it's gratitude. So I just give love for whatever I'm learning through that situation. So yeah, similar sort of thing, darling. I just don't put a name on it. I just say thank you.
Don't put a name on it.
I don't put a name on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people as well, when there's that blame thing as well. I love how you mentioned about people when they get into that comparitis, looking at you on social media. Thing is, when you're feeling bad, don't go on social media.
Stay away.
No disrespect, but there's loads of lying chuffs out there that make out their lives are absolutely fantastic. They're not going to show you the bad stuff. We all go through bad stuff. But when you go on social media and you see all this really good stuff happening for other people, why can't it happen for me? And then you start going down this, comparitis. But then you're in a negative mood. And all you're going to do then is attract negative stuff to you. So, don't compare your life to other people, because everybody's life is different. Everybody's got different circumstances, but they're not going to put, negative stuff on social media if they want you to see a perfect life. Don't compare yourself to others. It just does not work. And yeah, I love these perfect lives. I just whatever.
Look at me, how good I am. You know what?
You just rocked up here looking like a superstar. Nobody were knowing that you were running down the road fast. And he's just going, I was doing the same earlier. I was like, oh my God, because I made breakfast. I didn't notice the time. Brunch. And I was doing the exact, oh my God, there's stuff everywhere. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit late. And I was like, okay, Brie.
Yeah, honestly, I looked at the time and it was 1 o'clock and I was like, I guess Angie, she's sitting in the waiting room.
I was quite happily with my coffee, don't worry. I was listening to some lovely music.
I was like, let me just call her and tell her I'll be there. I'll be there. Anyway, Angie, if anyone is watching right now and they want to know what you do, and for the first time, if they're watching you for the first time and they don't know who you are, where can they find you? And can you tell them what you do as well? Okay, so where you can find me if you're a business person, you can find me on LinkedIn as Angie Simmons. If you're not on LinkedIn, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Growth Development Foundation. My website is remember I was last week, growthdevelopmentfoundation.co.uk. I'm a personal development and mental wellness mentor. By turning my mental mess into my message, I help inspire and empower and support passionate individuals that want to change their lives, but they're not quite sure how. So I help them by helping them untangle the internal so they can expand their external world, just like I am. Thank you so much, Angie, and please get in touch with Angie if you want to get to know more about what she does. Yeah, if it's a chat, I'm sure she can give you a 30 minutes chat. And she's a mentally wellness mentor, mentally health wellness, and just get in touch with her and find your own voice. That's what we do at Ngozi Talk Shows. We help people find their own voice and lead from within. You become your own leader in your own life. And for me as well, if you want to get in touch with me, you can go to my website. It's www.hseia.com. If you go on my social media, my website is there. You'll be able to get in touch with me if you want to connect with any of our speakers that are at Ngozi Talk Shows, and also at Ngozi Talk Shows as well. You can go to our page and offline or online and give us some stars and help us to reach more people in our community. And do you have any words of encouragement, Angie, before we leave?
I was just going to say, we need stars.
Yes, we need stars.
Encouragement, guys. It doesn't. If you are struggling, you know, with the changes that's going off and you need some support or some help, reach out. I will always keep saying this, reach out. It's one of the hardest things that you have to do, but it's one of the most empowering things that you can do, is reach out to somebody else, especially somebody who's been through what you're going through right now, whether that be death or mental health or anything like that. There's people like myself, like Nomsa, that have been through what you've been through. Reach out.
Thank you so much. And we are here at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless.